Well, welcome back. Welcome back. Actually, I had a picture of Leichhardt Oval pre-prepared. Thankfully. Don't know why. Just in case. Cabbage Patch, Man in Wood. Yeah. Bro, if I say I'll do it, I gotta do it. How are we all feeling after that one, man? Are you still recovering? I just went and grabbed a couple more beers, downed a bunch of cheese crackers, like the ones that are almost like potato chips. Needed something salty. Candace Kahui, says Sam. Indeed. Lindsay, hello. Welcome back. Michael Chambers, go the Force. I know you're a big Force man. Flesh, and yes, I am back. Hungover from that game, says Danny. One hell of a game, says Ribsy. This one's got a bit of... I must hope it's a good game in its own right. I've got to tell yourself now, nothing's going to quite match the madness of the Crusaders finally getting beaten at home for the first time in years. But anyway, this is just going to be a background for us all celebrating the last game. Zimbabwe won't think so. He wants the Brumbies to go and get a result. You can eat chips on the stream. We don't care. I've been trying to eat less chips. Put on weight during the lockdown, man, to the point where people would put comments like, bro, you're getting a bit fat, which I don't mind. It's good to have people telling you the truth rather than just saying flattering stuff. So, yeah, trying to cut down on the junk food, although beer doesn't help. What can I say? Grant, you missed the first stream and it was a cracker. You are correct. Lindsay says, go the Force. How's Gaza after that? No, Gaza is not. He's decided his bed was calling him. So he's made it that way there. Oh, Ribsy, go on, man. Long Dongs and Invercargill KFC for all. These are kind of inside jokes now on the streams, aren't they? I never thought I would have those. For those out of the loop, Long Dongs, Taiwan beer. And Invercargill sold out of KFC post-lockdown. So, man, I might have to go buy me some KFC tomorrow. Although that being said, I literally just talked about trying to not gain weight. I did lose 3 kilos recently. I weighed myself for the first time in a long time. So what can I say? Trying to eat less junk. He says as he drinks a beer. So rude, you've not got fat. But I guess if people haven't seen my videos for a while and they see them during lockdown, they're like, man, that guy's getting a bit big. It happened it only happened like 3 times, but it was enough to be like, okay, I'm probably going a bit I'm going a bit hard on the junk food and not getting out of the house. Cheers, Ribsy. Let's hope this one's a good one. This is all you're doing. If this is a nightmare, it's on you. But cheers anyway. Thanks to you, man. Thank you, sir. Kickoff. We have kickoff in this one. Gaza still in the house. New. Gaza has departed. Looks like the Hurricanes might have a good chance of winning this, but I think Crusaders will most likely win the competition. Yes, I would agree. I mean, the Crusaders do have a tough game up here in Auckland to play the Blues in their final game. But yeah, we'll see. Go the Force, hoping Kahui has a good game. It'll be interesting to see what time he comes on. Didn't know ESPN showed Super League out here. 2:40 AM KFC is hella good. Yeah. Time and place for KFC. rugby today, actually. And cheers, Big Will. Yes, Ribsy is the man. Here we go. Brumbies. Brumbies. Oh, man. Wow. 1 minute and 22 seconds. Wow. It's a bit of a cracking start, people. Goodness me. Tom Wright. That was Powell on the blind side. From his knees as well. Good hands all round. Just like that. Good try early. Holy crap, the Brumbies back score a try. And it's like a 50-meter plus try as well. So, yeah, top stuff. What do I think about the Brumbies kit? I don't actually mind this orange one. I don't mind it. If you told me the Brumbies new away kit is orange before I saw it, I would have thought, nah, that doesn't work for me. But surprisingly, I don't mind it. Where is this game being played? Leichhardt Oval. They've missed the conversion. So it's 5-0, which is in New South Wales, I believe. Was it Western New South Wales? Zimbabwe says, giddy up Brumbies all day. Alright. Need to change Crusaders to Force. Change. That's one thing I didn't do in preparation. Change 32 to 0. Change Hurricanes to Brumbies. Make it 5-0. There we go. But I want to make that smaller. There we go. Whew. Hank needs the Brumbies by more than 7.5 in the first half. There you go. Speculation on Reddit that you're working on a Sky deal like the 1014 did. Hell no. No. One thing I do like about YouTube is I am the master of my own destiny. Unlike my day job where I am beholden to a bunch of other people, I like the ability to do whatever I want on YouTube. Leichhardt is in the inner west of Sydney. Okay. Is the game we're already on KO said it's starting at 8 p.m. Aussie time? I don't know about KO, but we're already 4 minutes and 50 seconds into the game proper. Oh, Samu with the offload. Tom Rowe is going again. Powell's caught. I think they might want to check one of those passes. But potentially we have another try down that left wing for the Brumbies. Check that Samu pass, please. TMO. How's the weather in Auckland? Bro, it's okay. But it's been a bit brisk. It's been windy. Samu, offload to right. Man, top stuff from the Brumbies so far. Whew, they're looking the business so far, this Brumbies team. I think what was it Ruben was talking about was somebody made a meme out of my face saying I have a very consistent upload schedule because I do videos most days. And one of the comments was that eventually I would get, whoa, what a conversion, just saying. Sideline. Someone was speculating that it's only a matter of time before I get snapped up by the likes of Sky or somebody like that. But no, I don't want to. Nobody's ever talked to me. The closest is Rugby Past asked me to put content on their website before they were bought out by Sky, and that was not a money thing. That was just, hey, you put up content for us to use and we'll give you, like, we'll promote your channel. That was the closest. But yeah, definitely no plans to go mainstream. I don't know why I would. I like the YouTube stuff. Do you ever get freaked out by living in an active volcanic field in Auckland? Nah, it's just a thing. Next volcano I think is expected in the next like 0 to 500 years, so my odds are pretty good. Brumbies look like they're going to whip the force. Well, at the moment they do. Brumbies have had their wheat bix, says Pick. Well, that's for sure. The force need to settle down, get through some phases, because you don't want to be down by like 30 points at half time. Well, there goes for the first 10 commits for the force. YouTube is way better than what's on TV. We're all here because of how bad stuff is on TV. Yeah, I mean, to be honest, the guys at the 1014 seem to be using, I think by their own words, because I used to watch their content quite a lot. YouTube was a platform to get a mainstream deal so they could get like the ability to use match footage to do their tactics and all that stuff, analysis. So YouTube was always like the springboard to get to a real job, I guess. I mean, maybe because I'm a little bit younger than them. I don't know. I've always thought like, bro, YouTube's a way bigger market. Way bigger. Like when you went to Sky, you limited yourself just to New Zealand pretty much. And then they went to Spark Sport, and Spark Sport seemed to screw them over, I think. I don't know. So if they'd stuck on YouTube that whole time, they would be massive by now. Because they're in like they're around 30,000, I think, subs. If they'd been doing YouTube the whole time, they would be huge. But I guess that was never the plan for them, so anyway. Each to their own. Everyone's got their own plan. For me, this is my still kind of happy hobby that I do. And yeah, it keeps me out of trouble. What can I say? Definitely no plans to go work for evil corporations. You related to Anthony Bark? Not as far as I'm aware. I think I know where you're going with that. Rubsy said this is going to be a cricket score. I hope. Oh, they've just not found touch, the Brumbies, so they're not doing things perfectly. Honourable, man. I don't know about that. I'm just a dude who likes talking about rugby and drinking beers. How long till half time? Still ages. We're only at 10 minutes, so this game's still fairly early on. But currently, the Brumbies are still scoring faster than the amount of minutes that have gone by. Who do you think will win the Six Nations in October? Man, it's been so long. Aren't England in kind of the box seat because they've still got Italy to play? What do you think of the Seattle Kraken in the NHL? That was always coming, wasn't it, Seattle, to get an NHL team? Stay away from Sky, a poison chalice for rugby presenters. I don't like Sky because they seem to be kind of an old school model and generally pretty assholey, if I can swear on this stream. So like they pull down everybody's content that tries to use any few seconds of it, so I'm not fans. Don't go the way the 10-14 went. Different shows, I guess, eh? They were really about in-depth analysis anyway, so I guess that was their thing. TV is pretty awful and evil. YouTube bans people on politics telling the truth. I just use YouTube for sports. Plus, we want to interact. TV is like someone telling you how stuff is. Everyone hates Kernsey because he's old school, tries to boss you around. True. TV shows are out, no studios running sports spas. 1014 actually specifically said they were creating a new community alternative to mainstream, happily trashed. Happily trashed frequently, so. Hey? Said they were creating a new community and were an alternative to mainstream, which they happily trashed frequently. You might have to give me some more information there. No pretentiousness or ego with 2 cents you see on professional TV shows. Have you thought of doing TikTok? I do have a TikTok account because Sam suggested I do TikTok, but bro, I never got around to it. I don't know what I would do with it. I feel like I'm too old for TikTok. What would I do on TikTok? Honestly, I've already got a YouTube, a Twitter, a Facebook, which I don't use. I don't use the Facebook a lot. A Patreon. I'm not a 1014 fan, says Big Will. It seemed a bit commercial, like the Rugger Matrix they used to be on YouTube. True. Squid Rugby, he's now World Rugby YouTube person, is pretty good. Yeah, he seems to be keeping up with his YouTube stuff alongside the World Rugby stuff, although he hasn't had a lot of content on his YouTube channel for a long time. But maybe that's just because there's been no rugby on. If anyone should be out in the mainstream, it should be Squidge, but no one. No one has the imagination, just let him do his thing. He is doing the World Rugby show. He runs World Rugby's The Rap show, if you've seen it. I think it's on World Rugby's YouTube channel. I only ever find it on my Twitter feed, because, yeah. Anyway, we're 14 and a half minutes in. I've been spending far too much time in the chat not watching the game after its, I guess, blistering start has slowed down a wee bit. 2 cents, can I swear on the stream? Canes fans who came from Saders game swearing their heads off. I don't mind if you swear on the stream. I don't think I've set up anything which blocks swearing. I think the stream automatically blocks links. But yeah, I only usually block people who get abusive to me or others, so yeah. Doesn't happen very often. Force seem to be happy to just have their hands on the pill for a bit here, eh? Squidge is the latest World Rugby Women's Sports Decision retrans. Yeah, April and I have talked about the trans thing. I think we talked about it last week about on the stream as well. Squidge is pretty special, the amount of pause. Yeah, I've seen things. He has to watch games like 3 times, I think he said. 3 or 4 times, which is huge. And then he always finds so many little nuggets in the way the teams are playing. It's awesome. Anything Ribsy's abusing is his liver. Me as well, apparently. Helps if you open the bottle of beer before you try and drink it, buddy. Good thing that wasn't live streamed to the internet or anything. I swear I'm not that drunk. Or drunk at all. 2 beers. Lightweight. What's the time in New Zealand? It's 9:30. 9:30. So still relatively early. Is Geordie not the most clutch kicker in New Zealand at the moment? Mo'unga had his chance to be equally as clutch, but it just went wide. Although Mo'unga's still bloody dangerous ball in hand. Right, we're 17 minutes in. Force actually have a chance to get inside the Brumbies 22 here. Most hammered I've been on a stream. I drank sake on the stream when Japan beat Ireland. But that was right towards the end, so I was probably more hammered off the stream than on it. Five phases go the Force. Brumbies defense still looks pretty good. Never seen Mark hammered. Mark doesn't really get hammered that much anymore. I'm getting a bit old, I think. Geordie, the new Lee halfpenny, with the kick in for sure. Ricardo says, pity the Force haven't scored. Give it time. We're just before 20 minutes. They got a 5-metre line out here. Brumbies have conceded 4 penalties in a row. Maybe here's a good chance for the Force to get some points on the board. Squid was on a podcast recently. He said he was taking a break from his YouTube channel. He was doing World Rugby Show The Feed and his own podcast reviewing the 2011 World Cup. Okay, that's why he's taking a break from his YouTube channel. Yeah, because he's only had a couple of videos in the last couple of months, but I guess that makes sense. Force can't get it done. Turned over. Do you get on the occasional cone? You talking about the Zol? Bro, too old for that as well. You going to the Blues game tomorrow? I'm not actually. I decided to go to club rugby today instead for a change. Because I've been going to all the Blues games. I went to the one in Hamilton. I went to the first couple at Eden Park. So I decided I would go to club rugby. I know the games are on different days, but I still need to spend time with my kids and whatnot. So, yeah, I didn't take them to club rugby. I was looking after bloody other people's kids seeing me at club rugby, though. Because I was, like, flying my little drone. Bloody kids, it's like a magnet. Anyway, other people's children. Who are the Blues playing this week? They're playing the Chiefs tomorrow. Playing the Chiefs. Have people started saying Zol in New Zealand? No, they haven't, but somebody sent me a Twitter link to that Zol music thingy that went funny. What do you think will be a new Springbok 15 for the British and Irish Lions? I want to see the Springboks in the Rugby Championship first before I go down that road, but there's certainly some youngsters that could use some time in a green jumper. Bloody kids, yeah. One of the mothers, when these like 4 kids were talking to me, she yelled at her daughter. I can't remember what her name was, but she said, like, let's just say Angela. Angela, come back here. I don't know what you're doing, but it looks annoying. They were just asking me all kinds of questions. So she's like, what are you recording the rugby for? I was like, because I've got a YouTube channel. And she's like saying to her mum, but he's got a YouTube channel. She's like, leave him alone. Plus, I'm a guy on my own with camera equipment with kids around me. So they may have been thinking, geez, get away from that weirdo. Who knows? That's one good thing about taking your own kids to the game. People don't think you're a weirdo. Is there a limit on the attendance for some of the AU games? I believe so, man. I believe so. Just buzz the kids with the drone. The kids aren't afraid, man. Man, if the Brumbies score here, they're 11 phases in. Oh, they've knocked it on. Go, Bracky. Hoofs it up the field. Who's going to have the gas? The Brumbies, pretty easily. Which game did I go to? I went to University against Monaco. It was 71-0. 71-0. Rugby Championship in New Zealand is unfair, but it's rugby at least. Agree, man. Let's just get the games going. Ouch. One of the Force guys. Is that Stunder or somebody else? Took a big hit there. Not sure what the limit is in New South Wales, but in WA they can only fill Optus Stadium to 30,000. Okay. University is my club team that I played at. Or was it played at Unity? Yeah, it was played at Colin Maiden Park. I went to that game because I knew I was going to take my drone. And I know there's heaps of fields there, so I figured if the game's on the rugby, like the main ground, I could go to the ground next door, chuck up the drone, and just like film down without having to fly above people's heads, which is not cool. So, yeah. But, like an idiot, I forgot the drone controller, so I was flying with my phone, which doesn't have very good range, so that was kind of a waste of time. But, anyway. I can't complain, man. I was watching club rugby. 71-0, geez, that's a hammering. Yep. Yep. Oh, Colin Maiden's like 5 minutes from you. Yeah, it's like 15, 20 minutes for me. So it was a bit further. I think Te Papa would be my local club, but they can barely get a team together. They default some of their games. Rivsy says he's sorry, everyone. It's a terrible game. But it started so well. It started with 2 great tries. And then it's gotten a bit messy. Oh, was that pass from McGregor forward? Either way, it was knocked on. Stunder is meaty looking. He looks like he spent some time in the gym. This is a drop in intensity. Well, yeah, I guess. Crusaders aren't playing. That's a knock on. Come on, ref. Yeah, I'm surprised he kind of let that one go, but... Stunned at a South African, you better believe it. With a name like that. April feels sorry for the Western Force. They've been better value in their last couple of games than this one, but this one they're not. They're not doing so good so far. At least they've kind of switched on defensively. Well, they've got a penalty here, so maybe a chance to get down the right end of the field. Did not know you would live stream this game. I hadn't planned to, but yeah, I essentially kind of lost a bet with Ribsy. So here I am. That's all right. If I wasn't streaming, essentially I'd be watching the game and I'd be getting my whiteboard ready. I'd be putting the jerseys in the background and writing stats down from the previous game whilst watching the game and whatnot. So hanging out with you guys ain't exactly a punishment, man. I'm not complaining. Right, force. A big maul. It's 5 meters out. 4 meters out. It's inching forward. Ooh, but they may have hung onto it too long. Geez, Frisbee did well to get that ball out. The Brumbies look to have snaffled him, but not quite. You make it easier for me to watch the Aussie Super Rugby matches because then I don't have to listen to the commentary. We end up talking about a lot of stuff on these live streams, to be fair, and a lot of it is not rugby. My daughter Ruby won't watch rugby because she feels sorry for the team that loses. She's also keen for a 2 cents mention. I hope Ruby's doing well. She should become a Blues fan. If I had any rugby related advice to her, although they tend to lose a fair bit. 2 cents, you're not going to stream the second game and then the Hurricanes. Oh yes you will. That's pretty much how that works. Des is not keen on this game. Jasmine's only watching so Richard Kahui can be seen in the second half. This is more rugby community than rugby commentary. It's better. Yeah, I wouldn't try to just commentate the game. Come on, Force, get a try. Give Des something to cheer about. He's driven a long way for this game. Well, not for this game specifically, but... Remember, if he's held up, it's going to be a dropout. One thing I like about these streams is Daramundi, as we discuss rugby, we have so many side conversations most of the time. Yeah. Thank you. She's been annoyed at you asking after Liam, but not her. Okay, well, I've got to give that attention a bit more equally, don't I? Can't be all about Liam and his hoovering. Maybe if she did more hoovering, I would talk about her more. I appreciate someone who can give the floor a good vacuum. Pick for AB's fullback. I think at the moment you got to go Geordie. Put a Force jersey on and they will start scoring. I may, because this jacket's actually getting a bit hot. I don't know how, but as the evening goes on, I'm getting warmer. Hello again, chaps. Hello, Salih. How's it going, man? This game's 12-0, but we haven't seen any scoring since the 5th minute. It's been a bit quiet. "28 minutes, Force, no try." They must have gone close, but not close enough. The streams are perfect, like watching the game at a pub with your mates, plus a bonus. I don't have to hear the Aussie commentary. Nobody likes the Aussie commentary. That's a universal fact. The Fox commentary, anyway. April, I'm glad you're cracking up. I personally do not like vacuuming that much because as a tall man, bending to get the old vacuum going is not so nice on my back. But that being said, I will use my height to get out of chores as often as I can. Washing dishes, got to bend over. You know, hanging clothes, I'm pretty good. Height's a bit of an advantage there, although you still got to bend down to pick them up from the basket. Brumbies have got to concede points here, surely. Come on, Force. Oh. Still can't get it done. My son's club has just started training up here. It says Fleshin. Non-contact, but it's a start. That is good news. Charlie says, I'll try and send you a photo from the stands tomorrow for your green screen if you plan to do a live stream for the game tomorrow. Bro, do that. Yeah, send it on my email or my Facebook or something. And yes, Gaza left. He's a wise man for not staying for the stream. Maybe that's true. Not watching. How's Kahui doing? He is still sitting on his backside on the bench waiting to come on. And dishes says not bum. My husband has the same thing, being tall. It's a legit thing, man. You do the dishes, you're bent over the sink for an extended period washing. Your back just gets sore. It's a thing. I'm not sure if that's an indictment on this game, the fact that I'm talking about washing dishes instead of the gameplay that's going on, but if I was to talk about the game, I would say the Brumbies are absorbing a lot of pressure and keeping the Force out pretty well. Does Christian Cullen have a son? I'm not actually sure about that. Even the Green and Gold website doesn't like the Aussie commentary. Sound like I don't do any housework. Come on, man. Dishes is my main one. I cook at least one day a week. Dishes. Here we go. That left wing again is a bit of a gold mine for the Brumbies. I'll send it through either email or Twitter. Okay, sounds good, bro. Oh, Salih's having lunch. Stew, potatoes. Sounds pretty bloody good. Big Will's thinking about putting the boots on and giving the guys a hand. Now, interestingly, that's one good thing about going to club rugby, because you can get so close to the game. Any thoughts you had about running onto the field and joining in on a rugby game, when you see the size of some of those club rugby boys, you will think, no, I don't want to do that. Definitely don't want to do that. Every day, me and my brother do the dishes. Are you washing or are you drying? Or putting dishes away? That orange kid is growing on me. Looks like I'm going to splash some cash on that jersey. There's worse things that you could be spending your money on than rugby jerseys. Trust me. I know. What stream are you doing Wednesday? I haven't decided. Brumbies Scrum was just starting to put the pressure on, but the Force got the ball out. Come on, Force. Get into that 22. Get some points. They don't have Ian Pryor, the Force, their halfback, which is a bit of a pity because I feel like he runs the show for them at number 9. Frisbee's alright, but he's only just come into the squad, and Brumbies got a penalty. I think I must be incredibly lazy because I have a dishwasher and a Roomba. Bro, Roombas look like a great invention. Yeah, Roombas. I'm all about the Roombas. I don't have one. Charlie's a fan of the Force Cap. Must be something to do with the blue, bro? After watching the Kane Slater's game, this is like watching an early 80s 8-bit stick and ball video game. It started well. It did start pretty well. I appreciate the Brumbies defence holding the Force out, even if it's not the easiest on the eye. They say the Brumbies are the Aussie Crusaders. That's very reassuring for New Zealand. Oh, snap. My son banned me from watching him play for years because they always lost, but won when I didn't, bro. You need to tell him that the universe doesn't revolve around his dad. I don't do any of that superstitious stuff. Just don't do it. Refuse. Bit of a big clash. What's a Roomba? Isn't it one of those like robot... Wait, maybe I'm thinking of something else. I was thinking of those robot vacuum cleaners that go around your house doing the vacuuming for you. But maybe I'm thinking about something else. Maybe a Roomba is something else. Have there been any pro players from your school or uni? University rugby is not really a thing over here. It's club rugby once you finish school. The one guy who's currently in Super Rugby from my school is Andrew Makalio, who is the backup hooker from the Crusaders. But he's well younger than me, so obviously wasn't there at the same time as me. My school wasn't a big rugby school. A Roomba is a robot vacuum. Okay, so I was thinking about the right thing. Right. Fishing, it's called a missus. Yeah, the vacuuming here is divided between me and my wife. So we are the Roombas. We don't have a dishwasher. It's all manual. Obviously, we have a washing machine. But I do the dishes most times because I don't cook as much. If you don't do the dishes, well, if you don't cook, you need to do the dishes. That's the rules. If you cooked, you're contractually obliged not to do the dishes. Right? That's fair. If you cook and do the dishes, that's not right. Charlie says my school has like no professional players. Yeah. My school was like that when I was there too. Oh man, 36 minutes is gone. Where did those early tries go? We had 12 points in 5 minutes, and that's all we've had. Remember you put the Brumbies 13th of the top teams you liked. Why so? Bro, I did that video such a long time ago. I think because when they had like Jake White and who was Larkham, they were just really boring to watch. Although effective, maybe more entertaining under Jake White because at least they were successful. Larkham, they were kind of boring and not that good. And then when I was younger, they were quite good, and they probably beat my team a lot, which I didn't seem to like when I was younger. Amen. Amen. Since if you don't cook, you have to do the dishes. Yeah, that's the rules. That's just the rules. Groceries, I do the shopping with the missus and usually the kids as well. If you do the dishes and cook, you're basically Cinderella. In which case, you're a Disney princess and need to start like living in the real world. Sam's has been a hot start, not much since then. True. Ruben's schools had a ton of big names, including Willem Alberts, who was just a monster of a human. Right, with 2 minutes to go to half time. The Brumbies might actually break the scoring deadlock for us because they're about 7 meters out. Big Will asked his mum back in the day why we don't have a dishwasher. She said, I have 3, you and your 2 siblings. Burn! Yeah. Oh, the Brumbies have knocked it on. Brutal. If someone invents a washing machine that washes, dries, and folds clothes, then that person would be a billionaire. Washing your clothes is fine, but hanging them out and folding them, that sucks. I admit, sometimes my wife will like ask me, do you want to hang the clothes up or do you want to do like something else, like get the kids dressed? And I'll ask you like, what kind of clothes is it? She's like, kids socks. I'll be like, nah, I'll do anything else. I do not want to hang kids socks. I'll change dirty nappies. I don't want to. Nah, kids socks is a nightmare. Do you think there's a big skill gap between Super Rugby Aotearoa and Super Rugby AU? As a neutral, I find watching New Zealand teams a lot more entertaining and exciting. Maybe it's just the structure of the games. From the stats video I did, the Aussie teams had good numbers for like run meters, tackle busts, and all that kind of stuff, but they had too many handling errors and scrums. Sometimes I just put the things in the dryer. I never use a dryer, eh? Half time. Crazy. I love this totally non-rugby discussion. Can we get a 2 cents slice of life vlog? I would so watch that. Yeah, my kids are still young, man. 2 years old, 4.5. That's most of what I'm doing when I'm not watching rugby and doing my day job. It's reading kids' stories. Yeah, playing just kids' stuff. Going for another beer, more exciting, avoiding the wife. Did you hear the commentator say I'm hanging the socks up? No, I didn't. Commentator just said entertaining first half. He needs to get up more. A day in the slice of the life of 2 cents. It's not that fascinating. Get up, have breakfast, get the kids dressed and breakfasted, drop the kids at daycare, go to work, sneakily prepare a YouTube video while you're on lunch break or afternoon tea, maybe print out a team list using works paper, maybe, and yeah, pick up the kids from daycare, go home, do a video, put the kids to bed. Freedom. That's it. Western forced to make a huge comeback in the second half. Kahui just saw the match-winning try, 24-20. Let's hope. Two Cents. Kids, Daddy, can you tell me a bedtime story? Once upon a time, John Lombu ran over my cat. Yeah. Nah, what does my son always want to hear about? Bloody hell, recently it's Transformers. Yeah. He found some of my old DVDs about the original Transformers shows, and he's asking me about that. I'm like, man, you're too young to ask about Transformers stuff. Plus, that show's not even made anymore. Like, even if you learn, like, the names of Optimus Prime and, like, I don't know, Ultra Magnus, nobody at your school, your daycare is going to know that stuff. So, just stick to your own generation's cartoons. During the day, I don't believe in ghosts. Alone in my house, I'm a little more open-minded, says Jasmine. I like to think since having kids, I have to be totally reasonable in everything I'm thinking about. Yeah. So, would you see the Brumbies travelling any of the New Zealand teams? Well, they beat the Chiefs when the Chiefs had just beaten the Crusaders, so I honestly think potentially, yes. You used to have Megatron. Nice. Stick to Peppa Pig. Yeah, exactly right. That's your generation, son. Weirdly, I literally love Transformers. It makes no sense. And it makes everyone laugh. When I met Liam, he still had a Transformers duvet cover. Interestingly, I found an old Transformers duvet cover I had as a child, and my son still uses that sometimes. But what I didn't realize, because I watched Transformers back as an adult, that show was essentially just made to sell toys. The stories are crap. If you go back and watch the stories, they're not very good. It doesn't tell a good story at all. It's just about showing off new toys that they can sell. Anyway, but I still like it. I've still got a big soft spot for Transformers. What's my most embarrassing moment? Okay, I'll do it. I'll tell you the story. Just let me write down these halftime stats first. I do have a pretty embarrassing story. You guys can see if you can top it. Alright, let me just find this. Because the halftime stats will change once they... they're not going to change, but you know what I mean. Like, once the second half starts, the stats will be further continuing. So I'll just write down these halftime stats. If my phone's going to update the games. Rugby. Come on. Scores. Saturday. Right. Force Brumbies. Possession 49-51. Territory 53-47. That's pretty even. Knock-ons. Remember, Crusaders was 1, Hurricanes was 2 at halftime. It's Force 6, Brumbies 4. So we've had 10 knock-ons compared to 3. That's one of the differences between the Aussie and New Zealand matches. Run meters 119 to 278. That's pretty much it. Okay. Right. Most embarrassing moment. So I'm in China working as an English teaching job, right? There's this girl who works with me. She's South African. I'm not a big fan of her because she's real negative. Everything she talks about is negative, and she's really draining to talk with. So I finish work and she finishes work at the same time, and I'm in the elevator with her thinking, God damn it, like, I wish I'd left earlier or later so I didn't have to make small talk with her. And then I'm like, well, I'm going to go catch my bus over there. She's like, oh, I catch my bus at the same bus stop. Okay. So we're walking in the same way, making small talk, and I'm still feeling kind of bummed because, I don't know, man, you know, sometimes people just, you're not on the same wavelength. I was really that way. And then before I get to the bus stop, I can see my bus come into the bus stop. And it's quite far because I'm still a bit far from the bus stop. But I'm thinking I either wait for the next bus with this lady or I just run and try to make this bus. So I quickly make the decision, I'm going for the bus. So I'm like, oh, there's my bus, I gotta go. I run for the bus. I'm running, and I can see passengers getting on the bus. And you know, you're judging the distance, like there's 3 more passengers to get on. Each person's going to take a couple of seconds. I'm still too far. I'm not quite going to make it. So I increase my speed. I'm going as hard as I can. The last passenger gets on the bus at the front door, obviously. I'm still like I'm about a car length from the bus. So I'm not far, but I'm at the back of the bus, obviously, because I'm running from behind. And you obviously board at the front door, right? The driver closes the front door, and I'm thinking, no, I've missed it. But he still left the back door open, right? So I'm like, I can board on the back door and then go to the front of the bus, tag on, and then take my seat, right? Because he's still got the back door open. I'm almost at the back door, and I'm going as hard as I can. So as I get towards the back door, I want to do like a little hop, like a little half jump onto the bus. And I can see the bus doors start closing as I'm kind of in midair. So my head gets in the bus, and then the doors close on my neck. And I'm a big guy, like, 6'4". I hit the bus at full speed, so the sound is just boom. I hit the bus. Everybody on the bus screams because there's this bloody head floating around in the bus with its body outside. My glasses fly off my face because it's like a sudden deceleration from my body, right? The glasses fly off. The bus starts driving because the bus driver hasn't quite noticed. Like, he's only really inching along. So I'm kind of like having to crab along the side with my head in the bus and the body on the outside. And then the bus driver realizes there's some stupid white guy with his head in the bus. So he yells at me, "What the hell are you doing?" And he opens the door, and I get on the bus, tag on, pick up my glasses, take my seat. I think that's probably the worst. Everybody at the bus stop, so a huge bus stop, hundreds of people, probably a good 30, 40 people on the bus. And the South African girl, I asked her the next day, "Did you see what happened to me at the bus stop?" She's like, "Yeah, I saw it." Everybody knew. Everybody at my work. So, yep. That's pretty much it. That's that was it, yeah. That was not fun. But this is funny now. It wasn't funny at the time. But yeah, I'm glad the bus driver stopped driving. Otherwise I would have been probably in deep trouble. Yeah. Yeah. Bus deserved the yellow card for that. Yeah, man. How dare he shut that door on my head? Around the neck. Not good. So now, I live by the philosophy of, if I see the bus and I have to run to get the bus. Like, nah, I'm getting the next bus. Forget about it. Forget about it. I'm not. I'm not running for the bus. I'm getting the next one. I don't care. I'm getting the next bus. Somewhere, some Chinese guy is telling his kids, and then this guy just ran into the bus like a moron. Yeah, pretty much. But you made the bus. It sounds like a win, I suppose. If nothing else, the bright side of that story is that I didn't have to make more small talk with my colleague that I wasn't fond of. Got in a scrum with that boss, yeah. Right, second half is underway. Where do you think South African teams will be playing next season? Who knows, man. It'll be interesting to see what Sanzar sorts out, but Sanzar often don't seem like the brightest bunch of sparks, do they? 2 cents bus anecdotes. Yeah, that's. I do have another bus story, but I'll save it for another time. You made the bus always a silver lining. I've never really thought about it from that point of view, but I will take that on board. If I ever tell that story to somebody else, I'm going to end it with, but still made the bus. Does anybody know why the Force are playing at the stadium? Their new ground regulations that they allow 10k. From what I understand, is that a 50-22? Oh, it's a 50-22. What happened to the South African lady? I don't know. I was actually only a part-timer at that job while I had my other main job, so I don't know. I think she was dating one of the other South African guys there. Like, they both went to China together, and then I think they broke up. I assume she left, but I don't actually know. I can't even remember her name. Nothing ever good happens when a story starts with I ran to catch a bus. Don't run for the bus, man. Just get the next one. It's not worth it. One thing, and I'm not sure if it's related to my own bus experience, I must admit, because I take the bus to work, because I can't, the parking in the city in Auckland sucks. Oh, here could be a try. Yeah, it's try time. Will Miller. What is with the Brumbies starting the halves on fire? 50-22 and then a try. Will Miller over in the corner. They kind of half tackled him, but he wasn't held. So he got back up and had another crack. Is that McGregor? Or was it Ralston? I think it's McGregor. Try time. What I was going to say was, sometimes when I'm on the bus, I can see somebody running for the bus, and then the bus driver doesn't see them, and the bus just kind of drives off, and the person almost makes it. I do find that kind of amusing in a kind of schadenfreude way. Maybe it's because of my own bus history, that I want to see other people suffering in bus-related incidents. Obviously nothing serious, but you know. We always drop off later. The Highlanders game was a classic example. True enough. Good to see a tradition of scrappy Aussie sevens continues in Will Miller. He's alright. He's having a solid game, and man, Kunzel with his boot from the sideline is doing alright too. Right, 19-0. Novmum's thinking her Brumbies pick at this point is looking conservative. Might be right. I think I picked it to be a tight one, so I'm well off this week. Story is better than a full 80 of any Aussie game. Oh, maybe. Had a happy ending, didn't it? I got the bus. Sanders should create a Champions League style comp. That seems to be one thing that a lot of people think has a bit of appeal. I don't mind it as well. For sure. If it keeps us kind of together but reduces the travel factor, then it makes sense. My wife always runs for a bus and then shouts at me because I refuse to. Tell her my story of woe and tell her it's not worth it. Don't run for the bus. Two Cents plus Chronicles, yeah. Turned up late for a plane flight once. Everyone saw me walk on, sat down, and the seatbelt was broken. Took half an hour to get fixed. Hated by everyone on that plane. I bet you were. You were that guy. That guy. Man, the Force are in trouble here, people. Is that another 50-22? Was Powell inside his own half when he kicked that? I guess he must have been. How many times have you told that story? A few. I used to use it when I was teaching English. I figured if I have to go through that, I might as well use it. So, yeah, I haven't told it for a long time. I think because there was probably like a lesson plan on like embarrassing moments. So you lead with your own embarrassing one and then go on to the lesson. So I think that'd be it. I refuse to run for the tube. That's plain dangerous. In fact, I refused to get on the tube once at all after being stuck on it for 3 hours once. Yeah. I've not been stuck on the tube, but I've been stuck on a train here in Auckland once that broke down. Well, not broke down, but there was another train on the line which was broken, so my train couldn't move, and it was horrendous. $50-22 sound really easy to do. Yeah, well, if they don't put any wingers back to defend, I would say true. Simon says, I don't think the South African government can allow the Kings to be removed from the Pro 14. They have to be in a meaningful rugby competition. Yeah, I agree. That story would have been even funnier with a few red point long dongs under the belt. At some point, we will get a long dong on the channel. If I can buy one, get one imported from Taiwan, it'll happen. Should be more like a 22-22. 22-22 that'd be tough. I believe Australia and New Zealand have to make their own league with a few teams from the Pacific and South Africa and Argentina to create their own league too. One from Uruguay. They have to be looking at it, surely. I hope they're talking to each other. It seems like right now, it just seems like a schoolyard thing. The goal line dropout one is a real travesty. It's an abomination of a rule. Yeah, I don't like that one. You're kind of punishing teams for going close. Not a fan. Now the Force have missed a chance to kick it out from a penalty. Me and the wife got stuck on the corkscrew on Alton Towers when it broke down years ago. On it for ages and it was piddling down. Apparently it was your fault. I bet it was your fault. What did you do, Fleshin? What did you do? There's a police helicopter flying over, so who knows what they're looking for. I went out with a guy when I was like 18 or 19 and he was like 19 and his mum still bought his undies. Batman? Spider-Man? Yeah, it's not a good look. But, I guess everybody develops at a different rate. Why would he tell you that anyway? It's a bit of a weird thing to be telling somebody. Will the Force score before the end of this game, people? What do you reckon? Can they get it done? They've still got half an hour, just under. But they're in the wrong end of the field. If they're not careful, the Brumbies might get another one. Bumbling from one era to the next, says Alaran. This is supposed to be your Aussie team, isn't it? You're out west. I think it's only a matter of time before the Brumbies score here, unless they knock it on. Oh, but the Force got a penalty. They just got out of jail there. The undies guy, yeah, maybe he did, Zimbabwe. Maybe he did have a secret plan there. Oh, ouch. Super Rugby AU and also on Aotearoa is getting people coming through the gate, not coming in from all angles, and you like to see that because that's a key part of the game of rugby. There was nobody since Michael the Iceman Jones that could run those lines on defence and attack like Slam and Sam Cane. When he replaced McCaw, he was already regarded as the best 7 in the game. Has Kahui made it on yet? I have not seen him. Support the Force, but can't forget my home team, says Alaran. And neither of them's doing that well. That being said, your team may get a win tomorrow. Looks like top 14 will be back on September 5. I hardly see any top 14, but I definitely welcome its return. Zimbabwe was hoping the Force would come back competitive. Not in this game. Ooh, Thrush's eye looks a bit sore. Come on, Force, do something. Yeah, I hope they get some points. They should have earlier, but couldn't get it done. Kahui looks so freaking old. He's getting on, man. Remember, he was like at his peak in 2011. That's a long time ago now. Thanks for reminding me, Aileron. I blame Gatland. Yeah, Gatland. It'd be like them to get a win over the Blues tomorrow, though. Aussie games seem to be a lot slower than New Zealand ones. I think it's just all the handling errors. The handling errors mean the game stops, means you got to set a scrum, and it just eats the clock. I honestly think that's the main thing. Is Beaver still on the bench for the Chiefs? I think he signed for a Japanese team pre-COVID, but I'm not sure about now. Kahui was the man in 2011. He was. Will I be watching the UFC? I hardly watch. Oh, there's Kahui. He is on. And he does have a few greys. Yeah, he's definitely got some greys in the old in the old hairdo. And the commentator's saying he was a good player. Speaking about him in the past. Hopefully he goes well. I'm just popping in, not watching the game live. How many minutes left on the clock? We're at 55 minutes at the moment. She's a bit of a slow burner, this one. Started flash and pan, but not so much now. Good to see Kahui running around against his mark. Indeed, man. It's a bit of a blush from the past. I hope he gets some ball. Fine touch with your kick, please. Fine touch. This time he does not make that mistake. Good man. Big question. What should I order for the after rugby munch? Burrito, kebab, or pizza? I had pizza today. They had pizza for lunch. Did the butter chicken pizza. I would go kebab, to be honest. That's what I'd be in the mood for right about now. But, yeah. When does Rugby Challenge 4 come out? I'm not sure. I just know from people who talk about it, they keep saying it keeps getting delayed. I don't actually know. I'm still been playing FIFA 17 recently, and it's a ton better than anything rugby related. Sad to say. Even if it's a 4-year-old game, which cost me $10. Where's Bim Lamb going? I think France. I forget which team. Butter chicken pizza? You never tried butter chicken pizza? That's a thing now. Butter chicken pizza. It's okay. Something a bit different for when you get sick of regular pizza. What football team do you support? Interestingly, historically, I've always supported Liverpool. I'm not a fair weather fan because they're good this year. I just followed them a little bit when I was a kid. Admittedly, they were good when I was a kid, so maybe that's why. I did follow them quite a lot during the Rafa Benitez, Kenny Dalglish, like when he came back, and the early Brendan Rodgers years. I haven't been following them so much under Klopp, which is unfortunate because that's when they've gotten good. But I've been watching a ton more rugby, so yeah, time is limited. I know butter chicken pies are a thing. I don't know that I've ever had a butter chicken pie. I've also seen laksa pies here in the supermarket. Maybe I should buy one. Cuzzy Cafe is sounding pretty good right now, Scooter. Right, 57 and a half minutes. It's still 19-0. Richard Kahu is on, for those interested. He's just ripped the ball out of the Brumbies player's hand, so he's already doing some good work. No time for football when you have rugby streams to do. 100%. And I make no complaints about that. I'm pretty happy. I used to watch football in China basically because there was no rugby on. But then, yeah, the internet kind of became more of a thing with sports streams. How do you think your comparison stats between the two comps will stack up after this weekend? I may take another look at it, but I still think it's the handling errors that are the killer. Like, the only example I have at the moment is Crusaders Hurricanes. Halftime handling errors are 3. Force Brumbies halftime handling errors are 10. There's so much time. Each handling error is scrums, resets. The game just slows right down. My wife is Indonesian and recently combined my two favorite foods, the pie and the spicy rendang. Oh, that sounds pretty bloody good. Pork bones and puha I have not tried, bro. Not that I know of. David is still chanting Hurricanes, rightly so, after getting the first win down in Christchurch for a long time. Northman wants to force to score. I would also like the force to score. I don't want them to go through this game pointless. That would be terrible. There's a place near me that does Wagyu cheesecake spring rolls. It's insane. I'm literally going to die from eating them. I gotta admit, I was recommended a place by a workmate the other day to do a just a simple mince and cheese pie, but it was like a bronze medal winning pie. It's just some simple little bakery, and bro, that was a hell of a pie. Then I had a custard pie to follow up, like the savory and then the sweet, and man, even that, I think I even preferred it to the bronze medal winning mince and cheese. So good. Unbelievable. Speaking of unbelievable, the Brumbies Scrum is doing all kinds of damage to the force. Ben Lamb's going to Bordeaux. Thank you for that, Simon. This game reminds me of simple plain rice and no salt, just water. Hey. Novmum likes a good steak and cheese. Yep, steak and cheese is also pretty good. My wife got shouted out in the shopping centre because she didn't know she had to wear one inside. Oh, really? We're talking about face masks? Can't beat a steak. Oh, pepper steak pie? The guy who recommended me the bronze bakery thingy with the pie. He said he prefers the steak and mushroom, but the mince and cheese was the award-winning one, so I went with that one. And yeah, man, I think this is the 4th beer, so this is breaking all kinds of world records for a 2 cents stream. Still 19-0. Ribsy, what have you done to us, man? What have you done? Do you regret it? Do you regret it? I was going to watch this game either way, but, you know. The pie talk has been good. I guess I wouldn't have been able to tell my bus story without this game, so everything happens for a reason. Right, the Brumbies. 3 phases, 2 meters to go. Absolutely regret it. I'll be watching the Raiders versus Rabbits. How do we get from the Force being able to arm wrestle with the Reds to this? I don't know. I'm pretty disappointed with the Force so far. 11 phases. 6 meters out. Force are showing some pretty resolute defense. Brumbies might need to spark something a bit more than one-off runners in attack, but we'll see. Eventually they may just get it. When does this get easier to watch? Oh, anytime now. Anytime. Here we go. Forced to go length of the field with some turnover ball, maybe. Nah, the Brumbies have got it back. Start again. 19 phases. They just lost 12 meters. Mark, fell asleep. Did you miss anything? Apart from my bus story. I like my bus story. Time for another beer. This Force game is forcing you to drink. Well, yep. Simone just tried a droppy. Alcoholism. The rugby game. Maybe we need to take a shot for every time somebody knocks the ball on. No one can replace Sam until they prove they are better than his best performance. Sam needs to have some time in the AB's jersey as captain. We haven't seen that yet. Oh, it is a Mr. Vintage shirt, man. Yeah. I don't usually wear non-rugby gear on the channel, but I was getting a bit toasty, so yeah, there you go. Take a shot every time there's a scrum. Well, let's not go crazy. Finish your beer every time the commentator tries to make the game sound more exciting than it is. Let's not get alcohol poisoning here, people. This is gonna be a try, 100%. Boom fire. Maul try. Well, it's points. It's points on the board. Woo! Try. There's talk of a Curry Cup at the end of August. That'd be... Surely that'd have good support, right? Kunzel. Is he going to kick it? 2 from 3, and he's got 2 bloody hard ones. Ooh, he's pushed that one wide. 24-0. Would this game seem bad if we hadn't followed the Canes game? It doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't help. Yes, we all knew it wasn't going to be the Canes Crusaders game, that's for sure. But she's been a bit of a tough watch. Admittedly, the start was pulsating. 5 minutes, 2 tries, 12 points, you know. And then... Can't believe I picked the Force by 3 on my Super Brew. Let me have a look. I think I picked it to be relatively close. Super Brew. So far I'm 0 from 2 because I picked the Crusaders and the Waratahs. I picked the Brumbies by 9, so I need the Force to make a bit of a comeback. Comparing Aotearoa with AU, I would put it down to playing with purpose, playing AB versus AU spot. There are big names in Aotearoa but none in AU. Maybe it's the attitude. People did mention intensity a lot when I did that video. Part of that probably comes down to the atmosphere at the grounds as well. There's not many fans at the games because they're not allowed to, but the Aotearoa games are generally pretty well attended. It's a big VH show is disappointed. I'm disappointed in the Force for this one. Like, they've been cracking at moments in the previous games. Ralston's been an excitement machine. And how many runs has he had in this game? Bugger all. Big Will had the Force by 5. Well, that Canes pick's a decent one. You know it's a bad game when I prefer our conversations about cleaning than watching this. The old Roomba. Come on, Force. We need you guys to get some points here. Oh, they've turned it over. It's brutal. Flesh needs something stronger. The Brumbies also slow things down. Kahu's giving it a go. Good on him. 35. Yeah, just one try from the Force, please. They got 9 minutes to get it done. 9 minutes, 20 seconds, please. Some points. Nobody wants to go in 80 minutes and not score any points. Well, they've got a penalty. Here's a chance for the Force. It's sad watching this. Well, what's something happy? What did we see recently that's happy? Minced cheese pies? No, you're vegetarian. Crusaders losing at home? That was recently. I'm sure club rugby you watched earlier today was better than this game. The game I went to this afternoon, I didn't get there for kickoff because the parking situation was a bit worse than I thought. But it was 0-0 for quite a while, and then when the home team started getting some points, they just ran away with it. But it was pretty intense for a while. And there was a good mix of fans, actually. There was home and away fans, which was nice to see. Can you imagine if you bought a ticket and went to this? Come on, kids. Rugby at Leichhardt. Don't get to see this every day. It'll be fun. Well, from my experience today at the club rugby, none of the kids want to watch the rugby. They just want to watch the dude with the drone and ask him if they can have a turn. No, you can't have a turn. They want to know what happens if you crash into someone's head. They want to know how high it can fly. They want to know why I forgot my controller. Anyway, I was polite. I answered their questions. I've got kids of my own. I know kids like to ask questions. That's what they do. This is a game of rugby may not be great, but at least it's on. There's the bright side. Yes. At least there's rugby on. There was a whole long period where there was no games to be found anywhere. We tried vegan honest burger the other day and I freaked out thinking it couldn't be vegan. It was really good. Probably not your guys' kind of thing. Interestingly, there's a place here in Auckland called... Oh, what is it? Oh, I can't remember the name. But it's quite well known. And I didn't realize they only do vegan or vegetarian stuff. And I ordered something I thought was meat from them and I ate it quite happily. And then only like the next day I realized it was vegan or vegetarian. I forget which one. So they can do some pretty bloody good stuff with the substitutes nowadays. We have a global pandemic, and yet these guys are playing, so it is something. 100%. How many new cases in Victoria today, though? What about New South Wales? Is Queensland still all good? I don't think New Zealand had any new cases today. Took my son to a rugby game once. That was fun. Not. When I take my daughter, at least I know I can watch the game and not worry about her. Yeah, my kids are still too young to take. Hungry Jacks are doing vegan burgers here. Absolute bottom wreckers. Okay. The Force halfback keeps throwing the ball at the player's knees. Yeah. Queensland are still okay so far. South Africa is nearing 500,000 cases any day now. Goodness me. Force have got a scrum penalty. They're going to tap it. Here we go. Come on. The Force are going to score. Absolutely. Guarantee it. They're not going to knock it on. They're not going to get turned over. They're going to score. They knocked it on. The only time you won't get people coming here wanting you to show the game. Yeah, there was like 5 or 6 people in the last stream who were like, bro, show the game, show the game. I usually don't reply to them. But this time, if someone asks to do it, I should probably do it to punish them. Anyway. Does New Zealand have cases again? Oh yeah, only our new cases are people who come in from overseas, like the people have just said in the comments. And our medical experts actually said we shouldn't be counting those cases as our new cases because they were picked up somewhere else. We should be picking them as the place they came from, but anyway, still. Leroy's in Tokyo cases keep going up day by day. Olympics were supposed to have started yesterday. That's a scary thought, eh? What happened to the Olympics? Vietnam broke its 3-month stretch with no cases. And 5 escaped. Yeah, 5 people escaped a quarantine hotel in Hamilton. Why the hell would you do that? Do you 2 weeks? 3 minutes to go, people. You've almost made it. You've almost made it. Right, I'll tell you one more bus story. It's a good news one. It's again back in China. I was on a bus and it was on a public holiday. So it was absolutely packed. Now when I say packed, if you've been on a bus in like Australia or New Zealand, it's not like that. It's more packed. Like take however many people you could get on a bus in New Zealand and add like twice the number of people on the bus. Like literally you have no personal space. You are shoulder to shoulder with people all around you. They literally squeezed the whole bus full of people. It's sardines in a can. Right? So yeah, I was going home on that bus and the guy next to me, like right next to me, head kind of here because I'm a bit tall. Yeah, like Indian train pack. There you go. And I see him kind of starting to go, you know, he's looking like he's in vomit territory. And he's right next to me and there's nowhere I can go. Even if I want to get off the bus, I don't know that I could have got off. And one stop later, the person in a seat next to both of us got off the bus and he sat down in that seat and proceeded to vomit all over the floor, which was disgusting. But it wasn't on my shoulder where he was 30 seconds earlier. So kind of like this match is about to finish, that was a get out of jail as well. So yeah, it's a good news story. But yeah, not quite as dramatic as the other bus story, but I'm pretty glad I didn't get vomited on. What can I say? It was coming for a while. But yeah. Right, 80 minutes on the clock. I don't think the Force are going to score. The Brumbies might get one last try. Well, they might go into touch. Muirhead can't get it done. Come on, Force. Intercept, length of the field. Finish with a bang. Game's over. The commentator just said a quality clash here at Leichhardt Oval. I don't think so. It was a bit scrappy. It's not the worst game I've ever seen. Nice to see Richard Kahui back. Pity the Force couldn't get any points. Right. So, yeah. Not quite the same buzz as the last game, but again, that was never going to be the case. Just a bit of a damp squib, that one. The Force were never in it. So, yeah. I can't imagine I'll get many Force guys in the Dream Team on Monday. Samu looked alright for the Brumbies. But, anyway. You guys take care. I will probably do a live stream for the Blues and Chiefs tomorrow. For some of you guys, that's going to be bloody early in the morning, so I won't blame you if you choose to keep snoozing. But yeah, that's going to be a big game for the Blues. The pressure's really on, seeing as the Crusaders lost, so that should be a good game as well. Anyway, Ribsy, sincere apologies. That's all right. At least I'm kind of glad I had you guys there to talk about bus stories with, rather than just focus on the game, because I feel like I might have just started messing about on my phone if I'd not had you guys here to chat. So yeah. The game April tomorrow's on at like 3:30 New Zealand time, so that's going to be pretty early in the UK. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Blame Ribsy for this one, but yeah, don't run for the bus. That's the moral of the story. Just get the next one. All right, guys. Take care, and I might see you tomorrow for the Blues Chiefs. See you later.